Hey y'all, this is Lydia. This is a Mayan Cross reading for September 12th of 2021. The galactic signature for today is the yellow crystal human. And this is dealing with us emptying out our vessel in order to receive. And it's a very spiritual energy, but at the same time, it's this idea of grounding in that spiritual energy and manifesting and realizing our role as co-creators of our reality and allowing creative energies to flow through us through stillness, through meditation, through opening up and grounding in these cosmic energies and these creative energies into the material plane and the connection between the two. It's a fertile energy. It's a action oriented energy. It's definitely a day of taking inspired action is highly recommended today. And if you feel called to do something in curiosity, doing it and just seeing where it leads. If it doesn't lead anywhere, just trust that it was meant to happen and that whatever that action was planting seeds for something to germinate in the future. So, as usual, we're starting out with ourselves, our conscious self, which is the siren, which is a call to go deeper. It's the call to really follow where we're being drawn, where we're being urged to go, and really tuning into those recurring messages and whispers that we're getting of what we're being pulled to put our attention on. And by putting our attention on it, really calling it forth into reality and really trusting that co-creative ability that when we put our attention on something, it eventually manifests, especially if we're very consistent, even if we have blockage toward it, even if we have rigid thinking around it. Just by continuing to put our attention on it, we start to unblock and we start to loosen that rigidity and we find ourselves guided toward that thing. And the siren is calling us today. So the subconscious self is the shadow, and this has been coming up hard for several days now. And the subconscious self position is also the hidden helper. And I've been getting again and again and again that our shadow is coming forward actually to help us and to guide us. And there's something about the integration that's happening and the shadow coming forth in order for us to put our attention, which is also the light and love and our awareness onto it. There's something about that that's really vital right now to get us to move forward. It's something about moving forward despite our fears being released, shadow coming up to be released and to be integrated and to be called home, so that we can move forward in more wholeness. Because the more whole we are, the more staying power our manifestations has as well, and the more authentic what we're creating is. We can create all sorts of things. We're constantly creating, really, in the way we think, in the way we act, the way we respond, what we do. And again, with our attention, what we put our attention on creates our experience and it creates our reality. And the shadow is coming up, and it's important not to judge it and to actually see it as something that's calling for integration so that we can manifest something more authentic and to live our lives at a higher standard. We are in Virgo season, and that is definitely the focus as well. So the guide for today, our higher self, is the kiss. And the kiss is twofold. It's sensuality. It is the feeling we get inside of ourselves. It's no coincidence that the sun is at 20 degrees of Virgo today, which is emotionally sensitive, but it can also be energetically sensitive. And the kiss also deals with the divine and being touched by the divine and that rush of feeling when we feel that inspiration, which is divine energy, or we feel a rush of inner knowing. That is our inner guidance system, which is our divinity guiding us forward. And so with the sun at 20 degrees of Virgo and Virgo dealing with reality, we're being called to really trust where we're being pulled, where we're being urged. And when that feeling comes, honoring it and accepting it and not questioning it or casting doubt upon it, but actually taking action on it or just embracing it and seeing what happens and being open to what happens and being open to being guided and being really sensitive to what we're thinking about too and what keeps coming up. And perhaps taking symbolic action if there's some fear around it, taking symbolic action around it to sort of get the ball rolling to unblock energy so we can move forward. And we have, for the challenge for the day, is the poet. And the poet deals with trusting the winds to carry us where they may. It's this idea of, well, this is pointless, or you're feeling unrecognized, you're feeling unseen, or you're feeling like you're putting a lot of energy into something and it's not giving you any return. The poet says trust where the winds take our creations, especially with taking inspired action. trusting where that's leading us, trusting that even if we aren't seeing a logical result to that action, trusting that that action is actually, meaningful. There's a reason we're being called to do it. And even if that reason isn't presenting to us now, in order for us to put some sort of logical understanding around it, we're being asked to release logic and to just go into trust and go into curiosity. And again, just following the energies and going where we're being pulled, and really paying attention to the feelings that we're getting within ourselves, and that sensuality of feeling, and that rush of inner knowing, or that rush of inspiration, and just doing something with it and just taking an action on it just to see what happens. And the complement for today is the pilgrim, which is fitting because the pilgrim goes on a journey. In the guidebook for this card, it says the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. So again, be careful with this Virgo energy being too critical and being too analytical, and really tap into the heart, tap into the feeling, and allow things to move and allow yourself to be guided. And really, with the conscious self, being really aware of what's pulling us, really aware of what's calling our name, really trusting that, and just being, again, curious. It's very simple. The divine is simple. So if you get that feeling, and you get the feeling to do something, or to go somewhere, or to create something, take action on it. It can be the smallest action. Again, it can be a symbolic action, just to see where it leads us on one hand, and to trust where we're being led on the other. So I'm sending love and wishing you well. Bye.